Good evening, everyone. Growing up in a world full of noise, opinions, expectations, rules, I've realized that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes power is quiet, it's private, and sometimes the most powerful things you'll ever possess are the ones you don't share with the world. So tonight, I want to give you something intimate, a wake-up call, one that might just help you unlock something extraordinary, the power within you. Here are 7 secrets you must keep to yourself. Not because you're hiding, but because some parts of your magic deserve to grow in silence when you have a dream. Something big, bold, and deeply personal. It's tempting to share it right away. Maybe it's excitement, maybe it's the need for validation. But the truth is, the early stages of a dream are fragile. Like a seed just planted, it needs nurturing, protection, and time to grow roots before it's exposed to the outside world. When you talk too soon about what you're building, you open the door to opinions, doubts, and energy that may not align with your vision. People, even those who love you, might unintentionally discourage you. They might project their fears onto your path, and suddenly your dream starts to feel smaller, shakier, even impossible, not because it is, but because you let too many voices into a space that needed silence. There is power in quiet ambition. When you work in silence, you're not distracted by applause or criticism. You're focused, you're present, you're building something real without external pressure, and that quiet confidence becomes your edge. Because when the results finally show, they speak for themselves, and they speak louder than any explanation ever could. Protecting your dreams doesn't mean being secretive or suspicious. It means being intentional. It means knowing when to speak and when to let your progress do the talking. It means choosing your circle wisely and only inviting in those who genuinely support your growth. So, the next time you feel the urge to announce what you're working on, pause. Ask yourself, does the world need to know right now, or is this something sacred that deserves more time to grow? You don't owe the world a trailer before the movie is even made. Let your dreams take shape quietly, then let the final masterpiece be your statement. There's a unique kind of strength in keeping your next move to yourself. In a world where people constantly announce their plans, post their goals, and share every step of their journey, choosing silence is not weakness. It's strategy. When you speak too soon about what you're about to do, you invite energy that can distract, delay, or even derail you. You give others the opportunity to insert doubt, envy, or unnecessary pressure into something that was meant to be yours alone to shape. The truth is, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your direction or defend your decisions. Every time you speak about what you're planning, you hand over a piece of control. You allow people to react before you've even had the chance to act. And sometimes the reactions of others can influence your next step more than you realize. There is immense power in moving in silence. It allows you to stay focused on the process rather than the performance. It keeps your energy grounded, away from distractions, and most importantly, it builds a quiet confidence, a trust in yourself that doesn't rely on external validation. When your moves are private, they're protected, they're yours. You can pivot without explanation, evolve without apology, and grow without judgment. And when you finally do reveal what you've built, it's not speculation, it's real. It's done, it speaks for itself. Let your work be the proof, not your words. Let the results be your voice, because sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all, just execution. Just presence, just undeniable progress. And when the world sees what you've created, they won't ask why you were silent. They'll understand. Everyone faces struggles. It's part of being human. But there's something sacred about allowing yourself to go through those battles privately, without the world watching. When you're in the middle of pain, confusion, or healing, it's a deeply vulnerable state. In that moment, you don't owe anyone an explanation or a post. You owe yourself space, room to breathe, to break, to rebuild. Sharing your struggles too soon, when you're still raw and uncertain, can sometimes make it harder to heal. The opinions of others, no matter how well-meaning, can weigh you down. Suddenly, you're processing not just your own emotions, but also reactions and judgments you weren't ready for. That can distort your clarity and slow down your recovery. Healing is not a performance. It's not meant for likes or sympathy. It's a personal journey that unfolds in layers, and often it needs quiet to do so properly. This isn't about shame or secrecy. It's about self-respect. It's about understanding that you deserve to go through hard things without being on display. You deserve the right to cry, question, and fall apart without having to narrate the process to the world. And when you're finally on the other side, stronger, wiser, and whole, you can choose to share your story from a place of strength, not survival. There's courage in silence. There's resilience in the decision to walk through the fire privately and come out carrying your own light. And when you're ready, your story will serve others, not because you shared it in real time, but because you lived through it authentically. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Just show up after the storm, standing tall, a living testimony of quiet strength. Kindness is one of the most powerful forces in the world, but its power is at its peak when it's given freely without the need for recognition. In today's world, it's become easy to turn every good deed into a performance. A moment of generosity becomes a post, a helping hand becomes a headline, but real kindness doesn't need an audience. In fact, it thrives in the absence of one. When you do something good purely for the sake of it, because it feels right, because it aligns with your values, you are acting from your highest self. You're giving love, empathy, and support without expecting anything in return. Not praise, not applause, not even acknowledgement. And that's what makes it so rare and so deeply impactful. There's a quiet kind of fulfillment that comes from helping someone who can never repay you, or doing something good that no one will ever know about. That's the kind of kindness that changes the world, not just because of the act itself, but because of the energy behind it. It's pure, it's selfless, it's real. True acts of kindness often go unnoticed by the world, but they don't go unnoticed by the universe or by the people who receive them. A quiet gesture at the right moment can stay in someone's heart forever, and even if they never know it was you, the energy you put out into the world always finds its way back. Being kind doesn't require a stage. In fact, the most powerful kindness often happens when no one is watching. That's where your character speaks, that's where your soul shines, and that's where you become someone who not only talks about changing the world, but actually does. Quietly, gently, powerfully, inside every one of us is a voice that doesn't shout. It whispers. It's that gut feeling, that sudden clarity, that unshakable knowing deep within. That inner voice is your intuition, and it's one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have. But in a world full of noise, it's also one of the easiest to ignore. From a young age, we're taught to seek answers outside ourselves. We ask others for advice, we follow trends, we measure our lives against people we don't even know. And somewhere in all of that, our inner voice gets drowned out. We stop trusting it, we second, guess it, we hand over our decision, making to the crowd, hoping they'll lead us to where we belong. But the truth is, no one knows you better than you. No one understands your path, your values, your purpose the way you do. Your intuition is not random. It's built from your experiences, your wisdom, your connection to something higher. It's the compass that keeps you aligned when everything else feels uncertain. Learning to listen to it takes practice. It requires stillness, honesty, and the courage to say, I don't need everyone to understand this. I just know it's right for me. And that kind of self-trust. That's where your power lies. That's when you stop reacting to life and start creating it. You don't have to explain your inner knowing. You don't have to make it make sense to others. Not every instinct will be logical, but it will be true to you. Protect that voice, honor it, because when the world gets loud and confusing, your inner voice is the one thing that will always guide you home, if you're willing to listen. In a time where every moment seems made to be shared, keeping parts of your life private has become almost radical. Intimate relationships, whether romantic, familial, or deeply personal connections, deserve a space that is sacred and shielded from the gaze of the world. The depth of love, the quiet of trust, and the beauty of real connection often flourish not under a spotlight, but in quiet moments that don't need to be posted, liked, or shared. When you make your private life public, you expose it to energies that might not have your best interests at heart. People's opinions, assumptions, and projections can slowly start to seep in, influencing how you feel, how you act, and how you love. What starts as something pure can become distorted when it's constantly on display. That pressure to perform or maintain appearances can put cracks in even the strongest bonds. Privacy, in this sense, is not secrecy, it's protection. It's choosing to nurture something beautiful without inviting unnecessary interference. It's about honoring the parts of your life that aren't for validation, but for your soul. When you hold something close, you allow it to grow authentically, without judgment, without noise. You create a space where vulnerability can exist safely, where conversations are real, and where love isn't diluted by the need to prove it to anyone else. Not everything is meant for an audience. Some things are meant to be felt fully, deeply, quietly. The most meaningful connections are often the ones no one knows about. Let the world see your light, but keep the flame that fuels it protected. Because what's real doesn't need to be seen to be valuable. It just needs to be true. And sometimes the truest things in life are the ones you choose to keep just for you.